Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Traditions Homestead. My name is Kevin and this is my brother Jason. He's actually here visiting on the homestead today from Wisconsin, him and his family. And so we've been spending a great week together. And today I'm actually going to put him to work. We're going to try to fix this door behind me. A few weeks ago we did a tour of this barn and I showed you guys kind of the insides of the barn and some of the history. But the one part that I wasn't able to show you is inside of this sliding door because the door doesn't work. The wood's rotted away, some of the hardware's kind of bent up and busted, so today we're going to try to take this door off. We're going to try to get it completely off, and then after that, once we get that all fixed, in the next few days I'll be able to start building Hope's milking stanchion inside of that area. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us for today. We're going to get started. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is try to get this door completely off. You can see this roller is already disconnected, so that was pretty easy. We need to make sure we save all of these parts. Now I think we're going to just try to lift the door up because you can see it's only connected by one set of rollers now, and then just kind of slide out. So hopefully the rest of it stays together. You can see, it has seen better days, but we're going to get it back to life. All right, we have all the nails out from the metal, which was a lot of nails. And now we're going to start taking the metal off so we can actually see the frame and start rebuilding the frame of the door. Yeah, that's a lot. So we got the frame pretty much done. Now we did put the upright pieces at the same spacing as what was on the original door, so when we put the metal back on we can use the same holes that are in the metal and not make more holes in the metal. So that's why they're not evenly spaced, because they weren't evenly spaced on the original door. We're just going to leave it the way they were, so it'll protect the wood even more from the rain and things. But we did end up buying some pressure treated lumber for this. All right, so we've got the entire frame rebuilt back to the way that it was. And now we're going to start putting our metal back on. We're going to try to line it up exactly the way it was originally. And then we'll be ready to put the hardware back on and hopefully slide it back into place and have a working door. All right, we've got the door all put back together. We've got the hardware put back on. We've got the wheels on. We've got part of the track up on the barn. We're gonna slide the door in and then we'll finish putting the track on. And hopefully, if all goes well, we'll be done after that. All right, it's all hung. The handle is on, moment of truth. Now I'll tell you guys, you're seeing this is probably about 10 minutes worth of video right here. This really ended up taking us most of the day. This track up top was in pretty bad shape. We actually had to take the entire track off, bend part of it, redo the wheels. I mean, it needed some serious work. So we're excited that I think it's gonna work. Let's find out. Look at that, perfect. We noticed that he had a little piece of cut off T-post down here, and at first I couldn't figure out why he had that there. I thought maybe the door was supposed to stop on that, but we found out that it's really so that it goes behind it and that it holds it tight against the barn. So look at that. We have a working door. Now, within the next couple days, I'm going to start moving Hope's milking stanchion down here. Get that all set up. I'm going to bring you guys along for that. I'll see you in just a little bit. Well, it's been a few days since my brother went back home. I was so happy to have his help with this door, so now I can finally get to work on rebuilding Hope's milking stanchion inside this barn. Yesterday I disassembled the entire thing in the old barn where we had it, loaded it in the trailer, drove it over here so we can start reassembling it in this barn. Now the setup is a little bit different, so I'm going to have to make some modifications as we go, but that is my project for today. I want to make sure that I get that all done so that as soon as Hope has her baby, we are ready to go. We don't have to, at the last minute, do any of this kind of stuff. So let's go inside the barn and get started. Now when we had the milking stanchion set up in our other barn for Hope, it was all the way, the front of it was all the way against a wall. This time we don't really want to do that because there were some limitations with that of not being able to walk, you know, in front of her if we needed to like check her eyes and things like that. So this time we're going to put it against a wall, so there'll be a wall on the side, and then we'll be able to get to all the way around to the front of her. So I'm going to put it starting at about here in this barn, which is probably about 10 feet into the barn. I need to back the trailer up and start unloading all the pieces, and then we'll be able to start reassembling it in a new configuration. one of the biggest challenges that we're going to have in this barn is that it's just a dirt floor, and because of that it's not very level at all. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is try to level this base before I put all of the top boards back on. I have a pretty easy way that I do that. I'll show that to you guys as I'm starting to do it, but we need this to not only be stable so it's not wobbly, but we also need it to be level for the most part, as close as we can get it, front to back and side to side. So basically, in order to level this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some extra pieces of wood that I'll screw to the bottom, and these will just be able to allow me to move it around and get it to exactly where I need it. Then we'll put the rest of these boards on the top. These will be hidden, and it'll be a nice level platform for milking. Alright, I've got this all leveled now. I added extra boards on the sides and in the middle here, and then at the front. So it is level side to side and front to back. Just about perfect in each direction. So I think this is going to be perfect. The next thing I'm going to do is start putting on the rest of these, I guess, floorboards for lack of a better term. We're going to put these all on. We're going to make this into one solid platform that this is where Hope will actually stand when she's being milked. Now that we have a nice solid base or platform, it's time to actually move in the stanchion part of this, and that'll be the part where her head will actually get locked into place while we're milking. I'm going to bring that in, and we're going to try to figure out how we can assemble that or reassemble that in this new configuration that we're setting up. Well, isn't it nice when things work out really nicely? It looks like this is going to fit right into place. I'm going to be able to attach this up here to the rafter. Over here I'll just have to attach some kind of support over to the side of the barn here. But I think I'm not going to have to do a whole lot more than that. And I think this is going to work out great. On the side over here against the wall, I've decided to use these metal straps. These seem to work really well. I've got one up already and it's holding it nice and tight. I'm going to do the same just a little bit lower down. Alright, well this is all up. I'm extremely happy with how sturdy it is and how easily it went up. It's almost like it was made to fit in this space, which I'll take it. couple more things that we need to set up, and then we need to figure out how we're going to hang her feed bucket in front of the stanchion. Because if you remember, in our old barn, there was a wall here, and I was able to hang the bucket on there. So here, because now we don't have it up against a wall, we're going to have to do something different. But first, I'm going to add the side railing here and the back kind of arch. That helps just hold her into place and give her a little less room to move side to side. I have a plan for how I want to build the stand for the feed bucket. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a board up from the bottom of the platform here to one of the ceiling joists, and then from that board over to the wall of the barn. It's not going to be anything, you know, elaborate. All it has to do is to be able to hang a bucket like this off of a 2x4. So I'm not going to try to do anything too extensive. As long as it's sturdy and will hold this bucket, that's all that needs to be done. Alright, I've got the stand built for the feed bucket, and that is the last part of getting this stanchion completely put back together. I'm super happy with the way that it went into this barn. Like I said, a lot of these pieces, it was almost like they were made to be here. I guess our other barn and this barn must be just about the same as far as height and everything, so that worked out really well. Let's go around and I'll show you everything that we accomplished. So it all started with putting together the nice solid base. Once we had that level, it made the rest of the project a lot easier. You can see also that I ended up putting a big piece of this rubber mat. When we first started milking Hope, we didn't have that on there, and if she comes in with wet feet, she kind of slid on the wood. So we bought that, and that has solved that problem, and I would highly suggest you do the same if you're going to build a milking stanchion. We put this rail here, and this keeps her from being able to move this way as she's being milked. We have this extra little part of the platform down here so that we can sit there to be able to hold the milker and everything, and so that works out really well. So basically she'll come in, put her head into the bucket to start to eat. This part of the stanchion slides shut, and then that locks her into place. It's just a big bolt that we put through there that will lock her into place. So nothing fancy, it works really well. This is the same thing we used in the other barn, and we've never had a problem with it. So in the coming weeks, I'll be bringing down the whole milking system. I will get the pump hooked up and make sure everything is going to work here in this barn. One nice thing about this barn versus our other barn is that here we have electricity, so we won't have to run it off of our solar generator anymore, which will save us some time every day as far as having to set everything up. So that'll be really nice. Well, we're one step closer to being ready for Hope's calf. She is due to calf right around the middle of September, so we have a few weeks to go, but we're just trying to make sure that we are totally prepared and ready for that exciting time. Last time that Hope had a baby, she was giving about 5 gallons of milk a day on top of what the calf was drinking. So we're going to be overloaded with milk here in no time. Our supply of butter and cheese and things is running low, so this is the perfect time to start restocking all of those items. Hey, if you're enjoying our channel and you're not a subscriber yet, I hope you'll hit that subscribe button before you leave. Remember that the absolute best way that you can help us is by sharing all of our videos on all of your social media. Until next time, thank you so much for stopping by our homestead. Take care and God bless.